They doubted me. They laughed at my ambition, ridiculed my degree, and mocked every sleepless night I spent building my future. They whispered behind my back, calling me naive, impractical, even unworthy of the world I dared to enter. But today, the very people who scorned me, the same people who believed I would never rise, are the ones answering to the empire I created. And they know, every single day, that the world belongs to the prepared, the patient, and the unstoppable. My name is Tommy, and for years, I believed that hard work and dedication were all I needed. But there was one truth I didn't understand at first. They thought my education was a weakness, a liability they could exploit to maintain control over their empire and over me. From the very beginning, my father-in-law, Richard, made his contempt clear. Why waste your time with books? You'll never be anything in this family business. His voice dripped with the kind of cold arrogance only power can breed. His wife, Margaret, never failed to smirk, whispering to relatives and friends that I wasn't cut out for the world I dared to dream of. Even my partner, my own love and support, seemed unsure of my abilities, constantly measuring me against cousins, friends, and strangers who seemed more suitable in their eyes. Every achievement I earned, every idea I shared, was either minimized or dismissed outright. The breaking point came unexpectedly but with perfect clarity. I had worked tirelessly for years, gaining qualifications, mastering management, building contacts, and proving results. Yet, when a key leadership position opened in the family business, a position I was fully qualified for, they handed it to a cousin, someone who lacked both vision and the dedication I had poured into my life. That moment, watching them celebrate a mediocre choice while my capabilities were disregarded, ignited a quiet fury within me. That was the day I vowed I wouldn't beg for respect. I would earn it on my terms, and I would make them see it whether they liked it or not. I withdrew, but I did not retreat. I doubled down on my studies, immersing myself in business strategy, wealth management, investment analysis, and leadership techniques. Nights bled into mornings, weekends were nothing but lectures, assignments, and late-night networking calls. Every interaction, every seminar, every course was another brick in the foundation I was quietly building. While they laughed at my bookish obsession, I quietly accumulated knowledge, connections, and foresight they couldn't even imagine. Their arrogance was their greatest mistake. While they believed I was wasting my time with education, I was analyzing their empire in ways they would never consider. I studied their management style, pinpointed vulnerabilities, and documented inefficiencies. I reached out to consultants, investors, and mentors outside their circle, people they would never invite into their perfect family business. Each small step, each calculated decision, positioned me closer to a power they assumed I would never seize. Then came the breakthrough. I launched my own company, a consulting firm focused on international investments, corporate restructuring, and luxury brand management. The timing could not have been better. Their own ventures were faltering due to mismanagement, laziness, and the very arrogance that had long blinded them to my abilities. They never saw it coming. I approached the situation strategically. I offered my expertise as a consultant to their subsidiaries, initially under the guise of an outsider. They had no choice but to accept my guidance when results began to improve. Suddenly, the same people who mocked my degree, who had called my education worthless, were compelled to listen, to rely on me, to implement my strategies. Every misstep I highlighted, every solution I proposed, was a subtle reminder I was indispensable and I had always been capable. It wasn't just about the business. It was about reclaiming power, dignity, and the acknowledgement they had always denied me. I documented everything, every failed decision, every overlooked opportunity, every display of overconfidence that led to losses. I wasn't seeking revenge in the conventional sense. I was building an empire so undeniable that their earlier cruelty became irrelevant. A year passed. My company flourished beyond expectations. We expanded globally, landing high-profile clients and luxury contracts that left the family scrambling to keep up. Archer & Co., my firm, my vision, was no longer just a name, it was a brand synonymous with innovation, authority, and trust. I had transformed ridicule into strength, mockery into power, and skepticism into dependence. And then, the ultimate moment arrived. A major project emerged, a multi-million-dollar international luxury development. Ethan, the cousin who had been handed my rightful place, and other family members eagerly applied, convinced they would outshine me. They had no idea that I had anticipated this exact scenario, had prepared every argument, every proposal, every presentation to perfection. Presentation day arrived. The same boardroom that had once witnessed my ideas dismissed and overlooked now held a silent tension. Ethan tried his charm, the cousins smiled nervously, all unaware of the storm I had orchestrated. When I presented, every slide was deliberate, every word precise, every proposal meticulously crafted. I didn't just sell a project, I showcased leadership, foresight, creativity, and unassailable authority. The boardroom leaned forward. Investors nodded. Partners whispered excitedly. And there, in the corner, the family who had once laughed at my ambitions realized that their victory was nothing but an illusion. My presence, my knowledge, my strategy had always been the real force driving change, innovation, and growth. The decision was unanimous. My company would lead the project. Every contract, every design choice, every high-profile decision would bear my signature. Ethan and his cohorts could participate, but under my authority, guided by my expertise, and answering to the vision I had built from the ground up. The empire they had assumed they could claim was always mine. Months passed. Archer and CO expanded to multiple continents. Our designs won international awards. Our projects broke records and dominated headlines. Ethan, once smug and controlling, now reported to me as a consultant. The cousins who had assumed my place now executed my strategies, constrained by the framework I had painstakingly built. Every day, I witnessed the irony. The family who belittled my degree, mocked my dreams, and sought to erase me were now dependent on my guidance. I never sought public humiliation. I never yelled, threatened, or belittled. My revenge was silent, methodical, and absolute. My triumph was in patience, in strategic growth, and in the undeniable proof that diligence, intellect, and perseverance surpass arrogance, entitlement, and cruelty. Today, walking through Archer and CO's headquarters, every corridor, meeting room, and completed project reminds me of the journey I endured. Ethan and the others remain, a living reminder that betrayal is fleeting, but determination and vision are eternal. They tried to replace me, but instead, they exist under my name, under my guidance, under my authority. I am Tommy. I am the force they underestimated. I am the vision, the intellect, and the strategy they ignored. My degree, my education, and my relentless work ethic transformed ridicule into power, doubt into dependency, and mockery into awe. The empire they feared losing is mine, and every day, I shape it, dictate it, and command it. Every boardroom decision, every strategic contract, every high-profile venture is a testament. They thought they could diminish me. They thought my ambitions were a joke. And now, they live every day under the truth they refuse to see. Their survival, their success, their empire, rests in my hands. I never sought revenge for the sake of revenge. My success, my power, and my vision were always enough. And in the silence of my triumph, in the awe of those who once mocked me, I found the ultimate vindication. Knowledge, patience, and unwavering determination always win.